Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi and welcome to our first podcast in the series, isn't it?
Indeed it is, where we thought we would have a little conversation about some of the most common misconceptions or...
Resolutions.
Well, this one's about resolutions.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people engaging with the podcasts, so it just felt, didn't it, really like a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Something you can put on in the car and play and listen to, or maybe before you're going to go to your horse.
Yeah.
Or when you're sitting in the bath. Might be a bit dangerous in the bath, I don't know. Maybe not.
Might not be.
Depends. Have a think about that one, guys.
Oh, I think it's interesting, especially this time of year, because we're coming up to New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Oh, gosh,
And
yeah.
Traditionally, everybody makes New Year resolutions.
Well, first of all, they plan everything ready for my birthday, remember, on the 31st.
Well, yes, that's true.
Then they make the resolutions.
Then
Yeah.
after that, they start the resolutions.
I'm not interested in any resolutions before my birthday.
Okay.
But we've all... But yeah, that's a good point, Matt.
That's kind of the point, though, isn't it? You're not interested before your birthday.
No.
That's kind of the point about why is it we say, after that point, I will change my life and I'll start doing something about it. Instead of just making that change the moment you decided there was a change needed to be made.
But it's weird, isn't it, resolutions? It's like we only seem to do resolutions one time a year. So aren't we... I know loads of people. I mean, we all know loads of people that do resolutions. And we've all... Let's be honest, I've done it plenty of times. Like, I will not smoke another cigarette after my birthday, after 31st. Just putting that back in there for everyone again.
But notice how you didn't say 2020 there. You just said after the 31st.
Yeah.
So you've kind of left that open.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about 2020, you know. What is there to say about 2020? It's been quiet.
No, I think...
But it's been interesting, hasn't it?
And I think actually 2020 has been a time for lots of people to look at resolutions, to look at changing
absolutely.
how they do things moving forward. There's been a lot of negative things that have happened. There's been a lot of destruction for people through 2020, but there's also been a lot of view changes, and people have made a lot of change in their personal lives and family lives to start to realise what's important.
There's definitely been a lot of sadness as well.
Yeah. So, and we can choose either we're going to focus on the sadness or we're going to focus on, well, we're here. We're fortunate enough to be here. So are we going to make the best of each day that we can? Or are we going to wait until the new year to give ourselves permission to be happy? And it's like, in our mind, psychologically, it's like, right, we're now in 2021, so all of that rubbish is behind us. But it's only ever behind us once we decide it's behind us.
That's the whole thing about clutter, isn't it? Fill your life with clutter. You've got to get rid of it at some point, otherwise you can't move forward.
And you can let go of it every single day. You don't have to carry any of it forward. But we have this inbuilt system. And of course, we make a big thing about New Year. Happy New Year. What are you going to do in the new year?
It's always the new year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it... I mean, I guess for me, I've always looked at it as a fantastic place for something like stopping smoking or changing something in my life. Be it, like I say, smoking or, I don't know... just starting something new with my horse, starting on a new way, you know?
Yeah. I think it can be a
Seems
great
to be good to do it.
Can be a great focal point, but the inherent weakness in the fact that we go, I'll do it in the new year, is that we've put a condition to us achieving it straight away, or to permission for it to even start. And then we allow other things to creep in. So then when we get into the new year and we're like, I'll make my New Year resolution. I struggled, never mind, I'll do it next year.
But then that's about expectations as well, isn't it? People are putting a lot of expectations on themselves when they say, from that first day of the year,
A lot of pressure.
this is what's going to change in my life.
Yeah. And actually, then when it doesn't, because we haven't actually invested in anything in ourselves to have the tools, the knowledge, the understanding to make a change, it's almost like wake up New Year's Day, hey, my life has changed. Oh, no, it hasn't. So then we go, I'll stuff it, I'll just carry on. We get a bit further through the year and we go, do you know what, next year I'll make that change.
I'll smoke another year and stop
Yeah.
next year instead because I've already smoked now on the first day of January.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's realistic expectations, isn't it, as well?
It's
Surely.
it's setting yourself up to achieve instead of setting yourself up to fail all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, a resolution. For me, I look at it that okay, if we're setting a resolution, so to speak, we're setting ourselves a new path, or we're going to start on the path of something we want to do. So we have to look at it that we're starting on that path. We're not at the end goal on the start of the new year.
It's just the beginning, isn't it?
It's just the start. And we don't have to wait till the first of the new year for that to be achieved.
And equally, we don't have to always run before we can walk.
No, because invariably you'll fall over.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and I kind of get that. And so let's look at it with people with the horses, because like you say, 2020's given people a lot more opportunities to work on their partnerships with the horses. Lots of valuable time. I mean, you make of your time what you will, but there's been a lot of time for people. A lot of worry, but what an amazing place to go to then, to sort of de-stress, to spend time with your horse and let go of all the worry that's happening in the world. Turning the news off to start with and just getting out there with your horse.
Well, I have to say, I'm not a fan of watching the news. I don't keep up with it.
No, you prefer Netflix, that's for sure.
Well, because the thing is, then we just put negativity into our minds every single day.
Yeah, we're reaffirming it.
So there's a point of getting some information so we know what we legally can and can't do.
Right.
I guess.
What, in regards to this year and how it's
Well, in
been?
regards to the situation this year, but you know, keeping ourselves updated on things that we absolutely need to know about, and then logging that information and getting on with life. Whether that's within the restrictions that we've all got now, or when this is all blown over, it's still get on with life instead of spending our time looking at what the rest of the world is doing.
Which ultimately is just negativity. We're just saying, come into my life, negativity, you know?
Absolutely.
We don't need that in our lives. But sure, it's good to find out what's going on in the world, but getting away from it all and being with your horse, because that's what we're all about, isn't it? It's having that amazing partnership, building that ultimate partnership with your horse. Now, okay, so like we say, people have done will have had loads of opportunities in 2020, but now we're moving into the new year in a few days, after my birthday. So that's going to be really interesting. So what kind of things, I mean, we both work with a lot of people with the horses, but you more so with people that are actually working through situations on the ground and on the horse. What kind of resolutions or expectations do you feel will be happening that will interest people listening that may be able to identify with?
Well, interestingly, this last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of people who have actually stopped making excuses and realised they've had a loss of confidence, and they've realised they don't really know why. They've been trying to give all these reasons why. They don't really know why, and they just want some help.
Right.
Which is brilliant, because we don't really need to know why. We just need to go, okay, that's happening, and this is how we can start to turn it around. So I think a lot of the people I work with tend to have the right new year, competition wise particularly, next year I'm going to get out and compete. Next year I'm definitely going to go and do that beach ride. Next year I want to jump around a course of 65 centimetres, or I want to go and jump my first fox hunter. Next year I want to go on a fun ride. It's always next year I want to do, which is great.
But it's the disappointment if they don't achieve it next year, as you say.
Yeah, because 90% of people won't put in the steps now to enable that to happen next year. So we kind of disillusion ourselves that because we're in a new year, everything will be different. But
it's just another day.
Well,
so why wait? Like you said earlier, why wait for the first of the day of the new year when you could be doing it now, today?
Well, yeah, because randomly humans seem to have this scenario where, right, okay, 1st of January, it's new year, new mindset.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it. But
which we've all done.
The fundamental problem with that is if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you go, right, I'm determined I'm going to do this now from the 1st of January. I don't know, say you're having some issues with how your horse is going when they're ridden, or how they're handled or whatever. Right, I'm going to be more positive, I'm going to sort this out this year. But you haven't actually changed how you approach your situations. You haven't changed how you approach yourself. You haven't changed how you approach your horse.
You're just saying it out loud.
You're just saying you're going to do it this year, but actually it's on a wing and a prayer, in the hope that maybe by chance some fluke means I'm able to achieve it on one day because, I don't know, it's 50 degrees outside, my horse is too tired to do anything else. So
or they're going to get
achieve
out
it.
hacking again, you know, and then you're down the road, there's a tractor comes or a wheelie bin, and you're turning around and going back home.
Exactly.
You know, you can't wait for situations to be different. It has to start with yourself. So when you're coming up with these resolutions, which, as we're saying, should just be at any time of the year. Come on, you wake up tomorrow and say, "I'm doing this," but you're right. It's not just saying it. It's like what we talk about. It isn't talking the talk. It's walking it.
Taking the action.
And people have to be able to understand that.
Well,
Because otherwise they're letting themselves down for disappointment.
I've been to see a new lady this week who, I was going to say she's got a lovely horse. All horses are lovely, so
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter what horse I go to see, I'm going to say they're a lovely horse. She's a lovely lady, she's got a lovely horse. Her partnership's gone a bit Pete Tong. And I've been to see her twice. The difference between first session and second session is phenomenal. And I don't mean that she's gone from, I don't know, trotting round looking like a camel to going to a Grand Prix horse. I don't mean that. I mean about their connection, their understanding of each other. My client's energy levels drop down through the floor. She's so much more grounded. Consequently, her horse has come down off the ceiling as well.
No doubt she feels so much safer because you're there.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
and that's a helping hand. But that's what people, I guess it's being realistic with resolutions, isn't it? In that situation,
Yeah.
all right, she's not made a resolution, this lady.
Well,
but,
no, this is what I was going to say. She's not made a resolution. This is my point, though, I guess. She hasn't made a resolution as in from the 1st of January. But she has said, I need to sort this shit out. Excuse me, everybody. I need to sort
Yeah, we
this
don't have
out.
the bleeper.
Oh, well.
I might be able to bleep it,
No, it's not
actually.
live on Channel 4.
If it is bleeped, it's because I went back and edited this. So apologies if it didn't bleep. It may bleep. You may be surprised.
Oh, I forgot I was live on Channel 4.
It's probably because you had a drink, Matt.
So she has made a decision that change has to happen. And instead of waiting until January the 1st, she picked up the phone, she called me, can you come help me? Of course I can. So she hasn't got what she would like to do with her horse in the future hasn't happened yet, but she started on the first step to making it happen.
Well, that's amazing.
And she didn't
isn't
wait
it?
till the 1st of January. So it's not a new... Here's the thing. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's my new way of life.
I get this because equally with my own clients that I visit, it's like sometimes they've got sort of a bucket list, and on their bucket list for the new year is I'm going to have communication done with my horse or my animal so that I can find out what's going on. It's not a problem. It's wonderful. Happy to help wherever. It's lovely. Someone's open to that, you know?
Yeah.
But you don't have to wait to the new year, you know? But I get a lot of that, you
Yeah.
know? It's a new year thing.
I think maybe
New
it's this
Year's
whole
about a
thing that
fresh
it's-
start.
Yeah.
It's like
And-
rejuvenation. You know, we're coming through the winter, there's spring to look forward to, lots of happy, exciting times to come with our horses in the nice weather.
The only difference there is in the nice weather. Why is it we can't seem to have the happy, exciting times just because it's raining or snowing or whatever?
Or 2020.
Or 2020. This year I've had some of the most amazing moments with my horses that I've ever had. Ever. And obviously since we've moved, I've been determined I am going to get hacking out and getting Peter Pony fit and hacking and
Peter Pony
enjoying-
that's very tall.
tall Peter Pony.
Yeah. But you didn't have to make it a
And
resolution. It's just something you did.
No, it was just, right, I'm determined that this is what I'm going to do. And some days I get up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired. But you know what? I've forced myself to go and get on with it, because actually as soon as I'm in the saddle and I'm away, I'm so glad I've done it. You get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, there's always tomorrow. Well, there isn't always tomorrow.
We can never guarantee there's always tomorrow. And I think everybody listening to this kind of gets that, will get that.
Yeah.
You know, most of us humans get it. There's no guarantee of any next day. Look at
There's no
like
guarantee.
we've talked about it, the crisis in 2020, whatever's going to happen in 2021. You know, there's no guarantee of anything. We can't just wait.
No, you can't.
It's not about waiting. It's about getting on and doing.
Well, you can wait.
And that's what you've been doing.
You can wait if you actually don't really want to do the things that you're talking about doing.
Yeah, but don't put pressure
But-
on yourself that you're going to do it
But
by
if-
a certain point, or I'm going to start doing it by the first of January. I'm just really interested in the mentality, really, of resolutions. You know, I mean, this podcast is obviously about partnerships with horses, and we've talked about that. But it's about the human, isn't it? It's about the need for resolutions, almost like to create your own boundaries to feel secure that you're going to sort a situation.
Well, it's
And is that really, are resolutions healthy, Matt? That's what I ask myself. Are they healthy?
well, aren't they the ultimate in procrastination?
Okay, do you want to explain that?
Well,
'Cause I kind of know the word. Maybe it's because I've had a drink.
What I mean is, like, you go through the year and we go, well, I'm going to make that my next year resolution. So next year I will act like that, or I'll behave like that, or I'll do this, or I'll do that.
There's some kind of self-control with that, though, isn't there? There's almost a self-controlling happening there,
Well,
which is, surely that's good. We are in control of our own ship. That's us.
Yeah, but I kind
No?
of think that there is, and this isn't all the case, but I think for some people, it's almost like, because I'm going to do it from the first, I give myself permission to carry on acting, being, and doing what I'm doing now.
Something that
until
I
that
don't want
point.
to do anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wait till that point to do it. That's
Yeah.
what I struggle with resolutions.
So I don't get it. It's like, I think it's great to have a basic timeline for certain things, especially because sometimes we have to take in practicalities and stuff, but that's not got to be anything to do with the new year. It could be like, okay, from next week I'm going to do this routine with my horse because my job changes this week and my time will change. That's different. That's practical, and you know. But when it's like, we're in October. Wow, my New Year's resolution is going to be this. So between now and then, I'm going to keep drinking 3 bottles of wine a
Yeah,
day.
well, exactly. Or, my New Year's resolution is I'm not going to let a certain person at a delivery yard upset me anymore. It's like, what, so you're going to let them upset you till the 1st of January? So I get it, and I think we all get that. So resolutions or New Year's resolutions, I think it's a thumbs down with the whole
is.
thing. I get where people are coming from, and we've all done it, and we all get involved in it all.
Absolutely.
You don't need to wait for the 1st of January. You don't need to put that pressure on yourself. And I would say to people, it's about realistic.
It's being realistic.
Putting goals that are realistic into place that you want to deal with, and engaging with people that could actually help them, Matt.
Well, exactly. This is what I was going to say.
Well, instead of relying on the same people that actually haven't helped you, that you then get to the point of doing a resolution that you'll get the help, but then still...
Or you're just getting the same type of help, which doesn't mean that help isn't brilliant in itself, but it might not be the right kind of help. It might not be. If you're not seeing a change and a development, then it isn't working for you.
Well, look, I mean, you're
Whatever it is.
exactly. I mean, you get it. You're an instructor. You're a riding coach, and you work with many people and do such wonderful work. But at the same time, there's a lot of people. A lot of my clients I go out to, they're not engaging with you. They're working with another instructor, for instance. Now, on the whole, people are having fantastic results.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's what's right for them and what's right for the horse. As I
Absolutely, always
believe
is.
it's where we both come from.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but sometimes I go to people and they're not happy with their coach or their riding instructor, but they don't want to change it, even though they're not getting out of it what they really
want to get.
need.
Yeah.
Well, what they need, Matt, it's not even about. Well, it's what they want and need actually when it comes to the partnership being right.
That would probably lead me into a whole nother subject, which we'll probably do
absolutely.
Podcast.
Well, absolutely. But some of my clients get very stuck with that instructor. Yeah. They don't want to upset the instructor, but they're not really achieving what they want to achieve.
And I think the key thing there, and I've heard it.
They don't need a resolution to sort that.
No, they don't. And
I just need to do it.
The key thing is, I've seen it so much in this industry. No one wants to upset their instructor or their coach, or they feel bad. And there's like,
but I get
for me,
they build a rapport with them.
No, I get it, but it doesn't. And it doesn't matter if it's a riding instructor, a football coach, tennis coach, whatever. That coach, doesn't matter how amazing that coach is. They can be the most fantastic coach people up to Olympic level, and brilliant at what they do.
Yeah.
But if you and them don't gel to the point, if you two don't click where you get it, what they're saying, you need to change. Not
just talk about it and let it pull you down and make it a negative situation. Actually, like we say, don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. And the whole thing about resolutions is, for a lot of people, resolutions just become talk the talk and not walking it.
Absolutely.
So I think I really feel that like realistic expectations are important. And actually, I say rip up your resolutions and don't wait for the 1st of January.
It's about...
Just get on with it now.
It's about not even setting, it's about having in place a realistic outcome.
And not reaffirming the negativity. Oh, I didn't do well again. Oh, I knew that wouldn't happen. 2nd of January. Oh, I knew I'd start smoking again. Oh, well, I'll wait another year and damage my body and start again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why? Just stop the next day then. If you really want to do something,
you'll do it.
You do it. It doesn't need to be because it's the 1st of January. I think that's what we're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's really interesting. I've really enjoyed that. That's been interesting, and as we always say, so
I like
just chatting with a cup of
certain
tea.
Scenarios, because it's interesting. It makes you think whilst you're talking about it. It makes your brain go, actually, yeah, maybe that behind that is this, and behind that is that.
I think behind everything is a lot sometimes.
Yeah, there is quite often, and actually it generally leads us all the way back to the same thing in the first place.
Even if it's not something we would ever imagine that it leads us back to.
Absolutely.
It's all about the tapestries of life and that big ball of wool that's all jumbled up, and it's about unpicking it all. Bit like our electric fence, you know, I mean, let's face it, it's hell. I'm sure everybody that's got horses will know all about electric fencing. Trying to unravel it, but it's a bit like that life, isn't it? We unravel the electric fencing and we feel really good afterwards, so unravel it. But you know what, I'm not going to wait till the 1st of January to unravel the electric fencing. I've already done it, Matt.
Good for you.
Didn't you know?
It's
all done.
Go in and cut the knot.
Oh no,
out.
it's all done. I've done it 3 days before New Year's Day.
I'll get you.
Yeah, I see. I'm breaking the boundaries of what resolutions are all about.
I guess the thing is, before we finish up, and I start going off on another tangent.
Well, we can do your tangents in another week. Probably call the podcast Tangents.
I think it's really important for us to understand that New Year doesn't actually exist. It's something that humans have created.
Well, now you're getting into a whole thing.
I know I am.
Because you know where we can go with that.
We're talking about New Year resolution.
Yeah.
However, our horses have no... and our dogs and all the animals and the universe has no concept of New Year. They don't get to midnight on the 31st and go, "Woohoo, Happy New Year, everyone."
No, they don't. Animals don't
carrying on.
They feel, Matt. So they don't think, so therefore they don't have that whole situation of getting pulled into consumerism and social diseases and all the things that pull us into it, and dare I say religion, you know, so, but that, again, another subject for another day. But absolutely, Matt, that's really interesting. Guys, it'd be really interesting, I don't know about you, Matt, but I'd be really interested to find out what some people's resolutions are. Have they set themselves some New Year's resolutions?
And why they've set it.
And
really interesting.
why
yeah.
you've set it? Be honest with yourselves, guys. You know, have you got a resolution? I mean, I know we've pulled up the whole resolution thing to pieces, so we do apologise. But let's face it. Come on, no, I don't apologise. But you know, at the end of the day, we do it. It's part of human nature. So it'd be really interesting what your resolutions are. You know, what are they realistic? Do you feel they're realistic? Okay, have that conversation with yourselves, guys, and I'd love to hear from you. So please, below
really
in the post here on the Facebook page, if you want to just jot down something about what your resolutions are, or maybe some great stories about how you've had resolutions in the past. And
it's been the best thing you ever did.
Yeah, let's look at the positive. You did a resolution and you really stuck by it. You put those cigars down and said enough's enough. Or whatever.
So maybe this time next year I'll be able to say, yes, Rico Galdado. Oh,
I won't be
Galdado.
Well, no, it won't be. But it wasn't ever Galdado. It was Geldard. But anyway, you know, that's we'll leave that at that. But yes, there probably will be a surname change coming up very shortly for various reasons. I'm sure most people know about. But anyway, Matt, on the whole, fantastic. So what can we expect from the other podcasts? Because we've got another 7 coming up, all on different subjects, haven't we?
I think you can probably
humour.
Expect the unexpected.
I love that.
The only way.
Expect the unexpected. Just a bit like the whole promise me no promises.
Absolutely.
You know, I love that mentality.
And learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and also, just quickly, you know, because we were talking about this the other night, we watched a fantastic film, didn't we, recently? And I think that's would be really useful to let everybody know about.
The Invention of the Lie.
The Invention of the Lie, which kind of stems in to the whole thing, even with the whole thing about resolutions and how we lie to ourselves.
I think that is an amazing film.
It's an amazing film. So I'd definitely recommend to anyone that hasn't seen it. It stars Ricky Gervais, which I don't particularly like, but you know what? He was really good. He was really good in that film.
It was really good.
It didn't irritate me. So The Invention of Lies, everyone. It's a fantastic film. It's on Netflix at the moment. Get yourself a cup of tea and go and sit and watch that. I would. Or some popcorn.
Or a Baileys.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love a Baileys.
Oh, we're going to have a Baileys now. Right, everybody. So next week, we'll be back with our second podcast in the series, and there'll be more updates about the subject matter on that one coming up shortly on this Facebook page. So from me, Richard.
And from me, Matt.
Happy Christmas, everyone. And, let's see where you go with your resolutions. I'm going to go and write mine down now, Matt.
All right.
No, I'm going to rip them up. That's what I'll do. Right, they've gone. They're going in the shredder now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.